Even. Hey, Alpha. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Sunshine. Hey, Scapegoat. Yeah, birthday on Tuesday. I'll be going to see my mom. Pretty sure we're having roast beef for dinner. I do like roast beef. Hey, PK. Thanks. Hey, Amber. How do I feel to finally be old? Oh, I've been old for a while, Vanna. I've been old for a long time. Gotta have beef. Yep. Preferably of the roasted variety. Eat groundhogs for Groundhog Day. Hey, that. Thanks. I've never had groundhog. I mean, maybe groundhog tastes good. I mean, the issue is groundhog, like, you don't get a lot of meat. Like, I think the problem with eating, like, groundhogs, cats, dogs, like, small animals, they're not ideal for that sort of large scale farming, you know? Pun in a tradition I start where I just ground up pork. Hey, Monica. I mean, I'm always up this time of night. It's because I just finished my shift. Just finished work. But yeah, I mean, like, want a Groundhog Day trivia game? Nice, Val. I sure as hell win one of those. I do enjoy the movie, but I don't think I'd win a trivia game about it. So yeah, I wouldn't be, honestly, I wouldn't have an issue with eating groundhog. Um, just, I feel like there's limits to how useful groundhog is. Depression Doom, watching the same movie 700 times my life. See, even in my depression, like watching the same movie over and over, yeah. Like I don't want to just watch the same movies all the time. Chicken feet lays. Not enough payoff in the process of a groundhog. I mean, that's sort of what I'm thinking. To a certain extent, like that is kind of what I'm thinking about with that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of movies that I've watched. Like, I don't think there are many movies that I've watched more than like 3 or 4 times. And even then, Probably a pretty small number. Do I like cheesecake? Nah. And I mean, even then, like usually, like good few years between watching them. I'd usually wait, go a few years between watching them. Galaxy Quest. I mean, I guess when I was like a teenager, I did have a bit of a tradition of watching Rocky Horror every every Halloween for I don't know, about 3 or 4 years, maybe. That I just watched it every Halloween. And like I sort of stopped, and then it was a good few years before I watched it again. And it's been a long time since I've watched it. Since I've watched it last. Hey Matthew, it has been a while since I watched Rocky Horror. What am I up to? Absolutely nothing. So apparently Tracy Chapman made a. No, I've never cared about the Grammys. I was about to say that Tracy Chapman made a pretty big return at the Grammys. Good for her. I don't think she was ever someone that I really listened to, but you know, absolutely lots of respect for her. What did she do? She, yeah, she played at the Grammys. So yeah, Tracy Chapman just showed up and started playing at the Grammys. Did a performance. Doom scrolling TikTok. And who else is there? Apparently Joni Mitchell, I think, was there, and there was someone, Annie Lennox. So yeah, apparently Tracy Chapman, Annie Lennox, and Joni Mitchell were all at the Grammys. Which, good for all of them. None of them people that I particularly listen to, but never cared for Joni. But obviously, I mean, all like huge, hey, Color Purple, all hugely influential artists. Massively influential. Times it there? A little after 2:30. Tracy isn't that influential. She was a pretty big deal. Taylor Swift is apparently a fan, given that she was standing up and singing along while Chapman was performing. So, Saturday Live in a little bar in the 80s. Nice. That's pretty cool. Do I hate the music of Janis Joplin? No. No, I mean, there's not a lot of songs that they're not. There's not a lot of her songs that I'm particularly into. But I've never done a talent show. You know, take another little piece of my heart. Fucking iconic. You know. Ball and Chain is really good. I mean, Janis had those fucking pipes. Three-day suspension because of a song you sang at a talent show. Was it My Dingaling? Sounds like she needed Drina. Fuck that. Oh man, she was amazing. Yeah, she really brought that blues feel when she sang. You know, it was phenomenal blues voice that she was also like combined well with original about Westboro Baptist and Nazis. Yeah, fuck the Westboro Baptist Church. Thoughts on the Smiths Morrissey? I mean, the Smiths were absolutely an iconic band. Not a lot of songs that I particularly enjoy by them. They're just not really my style. But absolutely, they're an iconic band. Morrissey's a fucking asshole. Morrissey can fucking rot. Amy Winehouse? No, she's not really not really my style. Thoughts on Rock politicking his way to the main event of WrestleMania? Honestly, it kind of sucks. I feel like it kind of sucks. Because here's the thing. I used to really like The Rock when I watched wrestling. You know, I really he was electrifying. He was charismatic and he was good in the ring. He was fantastic. was a long time ago. That was a long time ago that he was one of the best wrestlers WWE had. There's a lot of younger guys out there. There's a lot of guys who are still up and coming. There's like he's going for the championship. It's a championship match. But it's like, dude, we know you're not coming back full time. Like, you're not going to be a full time wrestler. Though apparently, from what I understand, Roman Reigns isn't particularly full time either. What did Vin Diesel say about The Rock? Hey, Eruption. Yeah, I know. It's weird that none of my hair's gone gray. Hey, Gerds. I can understand excitement over the idea of The Rock versus Roman Reigns. That is an exciting concept. As long as The Rock can still pull out a good match. If The Rock can still put on, if The Rock is still in ring shape, then that is a really exciting concept. Not for WrestleMania. Even for WrestleMania. It's an exciting concept. But at the same time, I don't think it works for a title match. Like, I kind of don't think that works as a good idea for a title match. Do you think he ruined the Fast and Furious movie? I mean, I never watched the Fast and Furious movie, so I can't really say. But yeah, because I mean, he's not going to be. He's too old to be champion. Because I mean, I'm honestly just kind of fed up. Like, again, I don't really watch wrestling, but I've sort of watched some videos and shit about it, and I feel like over the past few years, nostalgia has really gotten a stranglehold on the WWE. So you get all these. So you get like Undertaker having multiple final matches, and it's like he's not, or like Kane wrestling long after he should have stopped. Undertaker wrestling long after he should have stopped. All Ric fucking Flair for some goddamn reason doing matches at like 100 years old, and it's just. I can understand the excitement of seeing a classic wrestler making a return and shit like that, but do you think he came back to get the heat away from Vince McMahon? No. Rock that was already planned. Rock coming back was already planned. I think that there's no way that wasn't already planned a month ago, at least. Like, there's just absolutely no way that they hadn't planned it. Planned it already. I do think that it ended up being kind of convenient. Because it got people talking. Because it actually got people talking about Cody Rhodes. Instead of people being pissed about Vince McMahon and all that shit, now they're pissed about Cody Rhodes getting his title shot stolen away from him. Which, like, Vince has been wiped out of the WWE. Yep. Long, long, long overdue. Like, frankly, he should have been stepping down 15 years ago. He's going to get Chris Benoit. Apparently, they're doing the same thing with Brock Lesnar, based on some allegations about him being involved with, like, apparently he was kind of a sex fest backstage. But yeah, I mean, Vince McMahon, it's hard to erase him completely from WWE history, just because, I mean, he was like the way they did with Chris Benoit. You know, like Chris Benoit was with the WWE for, a few years and had some pretty big matches, but Vince McMahon spent years on commentary. Then he spent years as one of the biggest characters throughout the Attitude Era and then onwards. Hey, Clockwork Planet. So yeah, like starting in the Attitude Era and then moving on for fucking ever afterwards. Vince McMahon was one of the top characters. You can't talk about Stone Cold without talking about his feud with Vince McMahon. Like if you're going to do a story of like, if you're going to do like if you're going to do like a video talking like a video showing the greatest moments of the Royal Rumble, you can leave out the time Chris Benoit went bell to bell. You can leave that one out. You can leave that one out because I mean it's a notable moment, but Chris Benoit. So you can leave out the Chris Benoit Royal Rumble because there's plenty more to choose from. But if you're going to do a video about the highlights of Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have to talk about his feud with Vince McMahon. So he can't be, and if you're showing, hey Donna, if you're going to be showing matches from back when Vince McMahon was on commentary, you can't just remove years of matches from history just because of Vince McMahon, just because the fact that Vince McMahon was on commentary. He can't be Chris Benoit completely, but they are definitely taking whatever steps they can to minimize him now. I did not read the lawsuit, but I mean, honestly, Vince McMahon engages in sex trafficking is astonishing in how unsurprising it is. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that tracks. That actually makes complete sense. Always knew that. Always knew he was a sex fest. You always knew that he was, that he engaged in sexual assault. No question there. To be frank, you can just look at how, like, at the storylines that he gave women for years and be very confident that he engaged in sexual assault. Because the truth is, those are the only storylines that he actually allowed women to have for like 10 fucking years. Whether he was the one sexually assaulting them or whether some other dude was the one sexually assaulting them. Women got sexual assault storylines, and that was that. So, yeah, no fucking and a lot of them, an awful lot of those stories. There were an awful lot of storylines that involved Vince McMahon making out with young women. So, yeah, no shit he engaged in sexual assault. Sexual trafficking? Yeah. Yeah, that makes perfect sense because it's very clear that he always saw women as nothing more than objects. That's all they ever were to him. Were objects. Whether it be sexual objects or objects of comedy. But he never saw them as people. He never saw them as human beings, as people deserving of respect and dignity. No, fuck that shit. They were there for his pleasure. So yeah. Trafficking? Completely, totally tracks with everything that anyone knows about him. Yeah. Do you think he will do jail time? Probably not. I mean, maybe. He might actually. He's rich, but I mean, Epstein got sent to prison as well. You know? And he doesn't seem to be in great health, but I mean, you know, he's not on his deathbed yet. So, yeah, he might actually do jail time. I hope so. I'm the abolish prisons, but yeah, I hope Vince McMahon does jail time. I hope he dies in prison. That'd be nice. Um, Not going to do a whole lot for the women whose lives he ruined, but hopefully they can at least get some Schadenfreude out of it. It's about the best they can hope for at this point is Schadenfreude. Odds are there's probably a lot of other people. Um, I guess there's a lot of other people who should go down with him who won't, which is, like there's people who absolutely knew what the fuck he was up to. Yeah, there are people who absolutely knew what he was doing and who were involved in what he was doing. Uh, Either actively involved or just covering it up. and they're just going to get away with it. They're, which again sucks. John Laurinaitis, yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking Triple H and Stephanie and probably Shane. Those like and other people and like other people in the back who are like running the show. A lot of the people who are running things. Steph quit before the story came out. Did Triple H know about it? Eruption. I would think he had to. Kevin Dunn. Not entirely sure about who he is, but probably. Like, I would think Triple H would have at least had to have known about it. No way of knowing if he was involved, but he had to at least have known about it. There's no, like, it's just, he would have heard rumors. He would have, like, people, like, he would have heard stories about it. Because he was one of the guys in charge. He's the son-in-law. He's Vince's son-in-law. And like one of the people leading in the back. Like, there is no way he didn't hear anything. I don't know if he would have taken part in any of the sexual shit, but I'd give it a very high likelihood that Triple H probably knew about this shit and helped cover it up. And I mean, Stephanie, guarantees Stephanie McMahon, she may or may not have known about the trafficking, but absolutely Stephanie would have known about her father being engaging in sexual assault and, said nothing and probably helped cover it up. Shane, probably, I imagine Shane knew full well that his father engaged in sexual assault and he did nothing. Probably helped cover it up. Well, maybe not, because there were a lot of times. I think there were fairly lengthy periods where Shane wasn't really involved in the WWE, as I recall. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there were fairly lengthy periods where Shane didn't really have much involvement with WWE. Rare. Both Shane and Stephanie left the company because of Vince's actions. Hmm. I do wonder just how many stories we'll never hear. or how many women had their careers stopped cold, ruined, because they weren't willing to play along with Vince. Well, at least he's gone. Um, WWE does seem vastly better when it comes to how it treats female talent. Um, hey, Interrupsa. Women are actually allowed to wrestle these days, except when they go to Saudi Arabia. Because yeah, should not forget about WWE's deal with Saudi fucking Arabia. They're just not allowed to wrestle at all. Whenever the US, like whenever WWE does its events in Saudi Arabia, their annual once a year or whatever, once every year or two, they go to Saudi Arabia. Um, the women just aren't allowed to wrestle at all. I don't think. At least in the past, they weren't allowed to. I don't know if that's changed. Okay, I guess they did change it. They do wrestle. Okay, so they made changes to it. Apparently, I know like for first couple years, from what I've heard, like from the first couple years at least, women just weren't allowed to wrestle. Now they have to wear specific clothing. They have to cover up. Progress. Should I get is living in West Europe iodine pills? I don't know, Anoripsa. I am not a doctor. I don't even know what iodine pills do. I don't know what they're covered. I don't know what they're for. So ask your doctor. Western Europe, you've got Western Europe, you've got socialized healthcare. Ask your doctor. It's not going to cost you anything to ask. Anywho, NATO leader saying you should prep. Oh, like concerns over like nuclear shit or something. And at this point, who the hell even knows? Who the fuck even knows what's gonna happen? Area Russia ones mentions nukes. Yeah, it's I cannot make any like I have no idea what the hell's gonna happen over there. It is just the world's in a weird fucking place right now. And Putin, like 10 years ago, I would have said that nobody wants to be the one to launch the first nuke. You know, that nobody wants a nuclear war. But Putin very fucking well may want to. Just like just to test them. You know, Trump wins, Ukraine will fall. Sequestering troops in countries next. Yeah, I do suspect that Trump probably won't really do much to defend Ukraine. You know, if Trump does get reelected, he probably will really pull back support for Ukraine, making it easier for Russia to take over. Hey, Dominator. Hey, Uncle Buck. Because Trump likes Putin. You know, Trump is a fan of Putin, so he doesn't really want to push back against anything Putin does. So, meanwhile, Biden is bombing fucking everywhere. Biden is bombing any country that dares to to stick up for Palestine. I'm surprised that Biden hasn't bombed South Africa yet, given South Africa brought those genocide charges to the ICJ. Will I be watching the elections? I mean, not closely, but I will absolutely be seeing shit about them. I'm on the internet, so I will absolutely be seeing plenty of shit about the elections, whether I want to or not, frankly. I feel like the elections are decided. Yeah, I mean, I will say, going after Taylor Swift may have been a mistake. You know, Republicans going after Taylor Swift. Not sure, you know. That may very well have hurt them. That may very well have hurt their chances of winning. Where are they going after? I don't even fucking know. I genuinely don't even know. They're claiming that she's a CIA psyop. You know, like it's the weirdest. Like I genuinely, I don't actually know the logic. Like I don't know like the reasoning behind it. Why they convince themselves. Uh, oh, hope your day doesn't suck too bad, Interripsa. Good luck with work. Yeah, it's just like this absolutely baffling. I honestly do not know what their reasoning is for believing that Taylor Swift is some government psyop. Like, it's so out of fucking nowhere. You know, Taylor Swift starts dating some football player, and all of a sudden, conservatives think that it's a conspiracy? It's just, like, do they honestly think the government is that. Like, they think the government knows how to make things popular? The government knows how to make things popular. Like, what? It's just, no. If they knew how to do that, I don't know that they'd bother doing it with some random singer. Yeah, I don't think they'd use that knowledge to get some random singer to be popular. Some random singer who, frankly, rarely even comments on politics. Taylor Swift is largely apolitical. In public, at least. Like, I don't know about her personal life. She may be very vocal about shit, but professionally, she's always been incredibly apolitical. Yeah, she's always been. I don't want to piss off either side. I don't want to piss off potential fans. Republican Party thinks they own the NFL. I mean, that might be it. Yeah, like Taylor Swift isn't. She's not particularly political, but she's. It doesn't seem like she's. At the very least, she doesn't really promote conservative. Okay, actually, yeah. So she has actually been. So she has actually expressed a lot of sort of liberal ideas. Um, Pro-choice, pro-queer, spoken out against police brutality, condemned Trump. Hey, Matthew. So apparently she is liberal. So yeah, that I guess that might be it. She is liberal. So her dating a football player and getting a lot of attention for it, they see it as you know infringing on their territory or some stupid shit like that. It's voter registration at concerts. That's true. Republicans do hate people voting. If there's one thing Republicans hate, it's having more people voting. What do you eat for supper? Nothing actually. I took a nap for myself at my lunch. Yeah, it's just like, but the fact that they have like the fact that that a bunch of conservatives have started like that it has become a pretty well known conservative conspiracy theory that very well may actually actively hurt Republicans politically because it makes them look fucking ridiculous. like I suspect that DeSantis going after Disney, I suspect that probably hurt him politically because it made him look stupid and ridiculous. Because like you're picking a fight with fucking Disney? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Trump claiming that he's more popular than Taylor Swift and trying to make it apparently, allegedly, trying to start a popularity contest with Taylor against Taylor Swift. It just makes him look fucking ridiculous. So, but yeah. I am not looking forward to the shit show of an election this year is going to be. Though speaking of elections, I'm wondering 2021 was the last election here. So he's got a couple years. So there's a couple years before Trudeau has to call an election. But with his popularity remaining, yeah, he remains not very popular. I wouldn't expect federal election this year here in Canada. Stand-up comedian with the same old dumb jokes with the same fans following him around the country. Yep. In some cases, literally the same fans. Some of the people, like, I think, like, blacks for Trump. I think there were a few, like, I think there were a few blacks for Trump who would, like, literally be flown around the country to be put on stage behind him. How come some Trump supporters have to tell everyone they are Trump supporters? I mean, that's honestly pretty common. Um, it's been that way for a while. I think it is more prevalent with Trump supporters because he's ultimately a celebrity. It's like saying, it's like people saying they're Swifties or saying they're fans of whatever actor, whatever singer, whatever, like, I'm a fan of this person. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm a Star Trek fan. So if I get the opportunity, hell yeah, I'll mention that I'm a Star Trek fan. And I think a lot of Trump supporters do end up seeing politics as entertainment to a certain extent. I will say though, the idea of being a fan of a politician, ugh, no, that's gross. It's just a disgusting idea. Don't be fans of politicians. They're there to, even the ones you like, even if you agree with most of a politician's positions, it's still important to hold them accountable, to call them out when they say shit that's bad or when they hold positions that suck, you know? But yeah, politicians are supposed to do their job, bore us while doing it. Ideally, like that kind of should be the ideal, is that they be boring. You know, like, when I was growing up, when I was growing up, Canadian politics was seen as exceptionally boring. There was Jean Chrétien giving some reporter the Shawinigan handshake, as it was called. Jean Chrétien, I will say, Jean Chrétien was not a, did have a tendency to not be boring. I will actually concede that Jean Chrétien boring was not a term that was usually used to describe him. But but I mean, even then, like one of the big stories about Jean Chrétien was him knocking out a burglar. you know, somebody broke into the prime minister's house, and Jean Chrétien hit him with the thing, like attacked him, fought him off. Like it's not boring, but it's a different kind of not boring, you know. But I mean, even then, it was you get a few stories here and there like that. But I mean, for the most part, yeah, Canadian politics was always seen as boring. Even now, it's still kind of boring. Like even today, like even now, Canadian politics does still tend to be mostly pretty dull. Canadians are boring in general. Okay, our national sport is the only one where fighting is expected, okay? You throw a punch in a baseball game, you're thrown out. You throw a punch in a football game, you're thrown out. You throw a punch in a hockey game, go sit in the box for 5 minutes. Do you have any idea how fucking violent you need to be thrown out of a hockey game? Frankly, Canadians, we get disappointed if a hockey game gets I only for like 1 year, like ball hockey for like a month. We get disappointed if a hockey game is finished without one fight. We expect at least one fight in a hockey game. If there's not, it's like it was a pretty good game. Pretty good game, a little dull. We want the we come on. Boring. It's like, it's okay, but could have used a fight. Watch a baseball game. That shit's fucking boring. America's pastime, and it's fucking 8 goddamn hours for a game. They have to throw a. Didn't Canada hockey players have a sex scandal recently? Probably. Got to throw in a fucking stretch halfway through because people are just sitting there for so long. Just sitting there not moving because there's nothing exciting to get up and cheer for. So it's just like, okay, everybody get out of your seats and have a stretch. We still got 2 more hours before you get to go home. That's America's pastime. And you guys have the gall to call us boring? Fuck off. I did not see. What game did she play? Was it anything cool? Was it just like Mario Kart? Was her gaming stream just Mario Kart? Phasmophobia. Sorry, I just looked. I just searched for Phasmophobia horror game. All right, so yeah, not something I would watch anyway, just because it's a horror game. But that's neat. You don't even want to know. I mean, I did want to know. That's why I just looked it up. Yeah, that's neat. Did a lobby at one point, and as soon as she did, there was some yelling slurs. Fucking gamers. Took her a while to figure it out, but I like the change of face. Yeah. Fucking gamers living down to their reputation. Just, they can't help living down to their reputation, can they? What is the gamer word? Neat for her. I hope she had a good time with it. Even if she is now stealing my ideas. But that's okay. She can steal my ideas. It's okay. It's fine. I'm copying other people too. Anywho's, I'm gonna end the stream for her for now. Nah, I've never watched her videos. I know I probably should, but yeah, I'm gonna end the stream for now. So, thanks for coming, and good night, everybody.